Okay, we can get started. Coffee, lights, camera. We're good. Hey everybody, I'm Daddy Sam, and this is A Touch of Gay, episode 61 for May 31st, 2026. If you're watching us on YouTube or you're joining us on a podcast platform, welcome. It's good to have you with us, with me. And this is my weekly check-in where I like to sit down at my kitchen table, so to speak, share what's going on here, as well as the LGBTQ plus kitchen table I find myself in, the one around us. And today we're going to be talking about IMLBB, International Mr. Leather and Boot Black. We're going to be wrapping that up since we've been talking about it a lot for the last month. We're also going to be looking ahead and talking about Pride Month because that starts tomorrow, officially on June 1st, and a few upcoming events. So let's get right to it. We always like to start with a little bit of a daily inspiration, which is gleaned from our social media, which can be found on Facebook, Instagram, Threads, and Blue Sky. We don't do the X because it's toxic soup. Yeah, pretty opinionated, aren't I? So in that way, today's daily inspiration is a bit of an opinion, and it's simply this: brotherhood has no dress code. Brotherhood has no dress code. The picture you're seeing on the screen right now, if you're watching us on YouTube, is a picture of the International Mr. Leather and Boot Black flag with signatures all over it from all of the people who attended that event in Chicago last week. And you might notice that there is every color of the rainbow there. The reason this is the inspiration for the week is because it's worth noting that there is no hard code to be included in the leather community or any other community within the LGBTQ plus fishbowl. There just isn't. Our communities, whether it be leather or any other part of our community, we are a living, breathing, and evolving body that's never constant. It's never linear. And what brings this up is the fact that we had a winner of International Mr. Leather this year who represents a completely different packaging, so to speak, than the traditional type of look and the feel. They bring a different story to the stage. They bring a different set of clothes to the stage. They bring a different personality and a different background to the stage, yet they win. And the reason why is because there is no dress code to the brotherhood. That's been in the social media a lot in the last week. There's been a lot of reaction out there because someone who's a little bit more non-traditional won the contest. And from what I can tell, the only people that disagree or have a problem with that are people who are stuck in the old ways and don't really roll with changes too well. And that's the last part of this. Change happens whether we participate in it or not. The question is, do you want to fight it or do you want to participate in it? It doesn't need our permission either way. It doesn't need our permission. Change is going to happen. You either accept it or you fight against it. And it's a lot easier to accept it or participate in it, be a part of that change. And one of the things that changes is what people are wearing, what people look like, where they come from, and what they bring to the table. And so now for my personal check-in, my husband and I did go to the big event in Chicago last week. We spent virtually an entire week there. Every year when we do this, as I mentioned on last week's episode, going to this event is much like being on a cruise. You're on this big ship with all these different people. It's exciting. There's a lot of elation. In the case of IML, there's a lot of sexual energy. There's just so much input. And you get used to it after a week. And then you come home and it's like life's over. It's event drop is what it is. We come home, we unpack. It's that first day. You still have the glow. You try to make it live a little longer through vicarious, maybe social media following, whatever it is. But then ultimately you have to go back to work. You have to get back to cleaning the house. You have to get back to putting normal street clothes on for most of us. Although I work from home, and my first day of work, I did wear a harness and armbands sitting at my desk just to make it feel like it lasted a little bit longer. I just had to. It's all a state of mind, right? But that's what coming back to daily life after something like being at International Mr. Leather and Boot Black is like. What I would tell you is that one of the benefits I get out of this event every year is I am truly inspired. I go to the contests. I go there for the contests. Everything else, the circuit parties, the sex parties, the vendor mart, all of the other activities around that event are great. They're wonderful. They're fun. But I go for the core contest because there you get inspired by all of the people that come from around the world who are leaders in their community that do things that are involved. It's a do-gooder conference, for lack of a better way of putting it. But the bottom line is you get to hear, you get to rub elbows with, and you get to sort of be a part of the story that all these people bring to the stage. And it's very inspiring to me. I come home and I always think, gosh, there's so much more I could be doing for my community. There's so much more that I could be doing. And the point here is that you don't have to have a title. You don't have to have a sash. You do not have to be the winner of one of these contests to be a big part of the goodness and change and service work in your community. You can do that without a title. You can. And honestly, this podcast, our website, A Touch of Gay, came out of my experience at IML a few years ago. I came home after a few years at IML and I'm like, gosh, I got to be doing more. I have to live my true self in a way that's more tangible, that is more out front and open. If you would have talked to me 10 years ago when I was just doing my automotive journalism YouTube channel and told me that one day you're going to be sitting in front of the camera wearing a leather vest and talking about your leather fetish kink and gay lifestyle very comfortably and out in the open, I would have thought you were out of your freaking mind. That's what I've gotten out of this. And I try to bring that out to you because we all deserve to live our lives out in the open. We all deserve a chance to give what we have to others that are coming up, and they need to see that what we do is good. What we do has a lot to offer our community. There is my check-in for the day. A lot of happy, feel-good hoo-ha, right? That leads us to International Mr. Leather and Boot Black and our winners. Now, if you follow me, you probably follow enough people on social media. You already know who all these people are, but I have just a little bit of background in my own context to share with this. I first want to congratulate everybody that participated with the event, who was on the stage. 68 people, and then there were, if I'm not mistaken, 5 or 6 boot blacks that were part of the event this year. And it's worth noting that Boot Black, if you're not really following the community as close as the people that are in it, the Boot Black contest used to be a part of the event every year until a few years back when some issues and some things that happened where the Boot Black community sort of separated away from the contest of International Mr. Leather. And I won't get into all of that. It has come back together this year in a very big and important way. The Boot Blacks are included in the contest. They are part of the contest. They are integral with the whole weekend. They have their spot on the stage and they are part of the awards and all of that, which is beautiful because they are an integral part of the leather community. They are part and parcel to everything that happens there. And the fact that there was a few years where they were separate, they were missed. Not only they are included, but back in the name, it's no longer IML, it's IMLBB. So if you're wondering what the BB is, that's what it's about. And so I've been very diligent here in this last month as this has come together to make sure the hashtags I'm using, IMLBB, I'm trying to make sure I say it right on our podcast. So with that, let's get to our winners. First of all, most people know Honey Davenport was International Mr. Leather 2026. He came from Palm Springs. There they had the title of Mr. Palm Springs Leather. They won the contest. A very close first runner-up is Sergeant Alex, which is Mr. Cincinnati Leather. He was my favorite to win, I'll be honest with you. He is a dear friend of mine, and my husband and I also were part of his support team this year at IML to do what we could to help him out during the contest. And we really, 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 really wanted him to win. But he did make the podium, the top 3, which is huge. It's huge to make the top 20, but making the podium, the top 3 is huge. And so I'm very proud of not only Honey Davenport, I'm very proud of Alex because he did an amazing job, as did all of the people on the stage. And then second runner-up was Denzel Bellin, Mr. Twin Cities Leather 2026. He also put on a wonderful show. So I want to congratulate all 3 of you. it was inspiring to see you. It was inspiring to hear you. And I think that the three of you represent the beauty, the change, and the diversity that is going on in the leather community right now. And so I'm just proud of that. Now on Boot Black, we have Atlas Rose, International Mr. Boot Black 2026, formerly Route 66 Boot Black 2025, Jimmy Bassett, first runner-up. He was Northeast Drummer Boot Black 2017, and Pup Verde, second runner-up, Texas Boot Black. So congratulations, all of you. It was such an amazing event this year. So that's going to be the last you're going to hear from me about IML for a while, because I've browbeaten all of you with it here in the last 4 episodes, I'd say. So we're going to move on. It's time for Pride Month. June 1st is tomorrow. It's going to be a month of pride. I love the memes that say it's the time for conservatives to be terribly uncomfortable no matter which store and which place they go to. Maybe less so these days because a lot of the corporations have pulled back and they're not so visible because of our current political climate. But it is June. That is the nationwide, generally speaking, Pride Month. Now, different states have it a little bit different. Here in Arizona, our official Pride Festival is typically in the fall because of the heat. We don't want Pride right now. It's just too darn hot. And a lot of other places do it a little bit earlier or a little bit later. But generally speaking, it's June. And that's when you're going to see a lot of the LGBTQ plus advertising going on for those companies out there that are still not too ashamed to associate themselves with us and support us. But that gets us to what's important about this Pride Month. Just like last year, because all of the big corporations that used to be our fair weather friends have pulled back and too embarrassed to put their name next to us, a lot of our pride festivals and our celebrations around the country are being threatened. And there have been some already that have been canceled. Here in Arizona, they just announced, Phoenix Pride just announced Chapter 11 bankruptcy just this week because attendance is down, because corporate sponsorship is down, and that hit the bottom line. They have bills to pay to put these big events on. Now, I think what's going to happen going forward, and we talked about this last year at Pride, is a lot of these big Pride festivals are going to have to rethink what they're doing, how they do it, where they spend their money. Phoenix Pride here, where I live, has turned into this big top-heavy organization that has scholarships for this, they have awards for that, they have events all year long, and they have programs for all these various community things that have nothing whatsoever to do with the Pride Festival. And the Pride Festival itself has turned into this sort of mop and broom show, like the Home and Garden show, only there happens to be rainbow flags there. It's lost the plot. It's missed the plot a little bit, in my opinion. I'm kind of getting out on a local limb there, but there are a lot of Pride festivals around the country that have turned into these big productions where I think this opportunity where we have right now, where the corporate entities are pulling out and pulling back, and therefore their influence also exiting the stage, we as a community have an ability to get back in there and make these grassroots events, make them the grassroots protests they started as and need to be, especially in our climate today. We are in a crossroads right now with our Pride festivals, with our Pride events, and with our Pride marches. The corporations are no longer sitting back going, yeah, we're going to write you the check, but we're really uncomfortable with that one thing you do over there. What my takeaway here is that it's incumbent upon us to celebrate. It's incumbent upon us to get involved and be a part of it. Support your local Pride festivals this year because they need it. Even though if my festival happens this fall, which right now is in doubt with the organization being in a financial problem, go. Whether you like the festival or not, go there, be a part of it, volunteer, whatever you can, because at some level we need to keep these things alive. They are one of the things that we do every year that help us, that give us a platform to be visible. I just came back from International Mr. Leather. That's my platform to be visible. And it's there and it's healthy and it's vibrant. But the same can't also be said for the greater community at large and the Pride Festival. So it's just important. I'm putting a PSA out there. Support your festival. And if you don't like your festival, somehow get involved and be part of the change. You can participate in change or you can fight against it. What I will tell you is that our website, A Touch of Gay, has an events section where I am trying to put as many of the Pride festivals up in your local areas as possible. You can go there. The information's on the screen. It's atouchofgay.com/events, also down in our show notes if you're listening. But go there, check it out. See where you live, see what's available in your area and when your Pride Festival is. There might be one down the road, an hour or two away, that you can go and be a part of. If you're a vendor, go and be a part of that. They need local companies to get involved and support those events these days. And so check it out on the website. And also, please drop me a line if you want your event featured and you don't see it there, atouchofgay.com. And you can send me an email, daddysam@atouchofgay.com. So happy Pride. Happy Pride. I'll be the first to tell you that. And we're going to finish off with our event this week, and it's going to be a little bit later in August. That is the Big Bear Romp, August 13th through the 16th in Big Bear Lake, California. Now, Big Bear is a nice little place in the mountains above. It's about northeast of LA, and it's not that far from Los Angeles, but it's close enough that you can fly into Ontario or Los Angeles, Burbank even. You can drive for a couple of hours, get up there in the mountains, and you would never think LA is just a couple of hours away. It's a beautiful, woodsy place. This event is Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Pool parties, dances, events, contests, lots and lots of bears floating around in the water. Mountains of Men in Mischief is their theme this year, and it's at the lodge at Big Bear Lake. So they take over this entire place. Now, there are other places to stay, but the host hotel, I always say, is the place you want to be. And right now, if you go to their website, which is bigbearromp.com, you can get your tickets and you can get your hotel reservations made. This is a wonderful summer event. So I highly recommend you check this out. This is on my list of things that I want to do. It's just a few hours drive away. So I hope to get to do that maybe this year. Hope to see you there. So Big Bear Romp, bigbearromp.com. Check that out. And that is it for our episode today. I'm still kind of getting my traction back from being gone for a week. And I'm just glad to be back home in some ways, sleeping in my own bed. Hotel beds aren't always that. You can check out all of our information, including our events section, atouchofgay.com. You can follow us on social media, which is Facebook, Instagram, Threads, and Blue Sky. We don't do the X because it's just wrong. And you can also get our podcast on all of the major platforms where you follow podcasts. The chiclets are all on our screen. You can see them, all the big major platforms. And of course, if you're seeing them, you're watching us on YouTube, which is our primary place. Our podcast drops every Sunday and usually a little bit earlier on YouTube. And if you are watching us on YouTube today, you can see me. You can see what I'm wearing. I'm wearing my navy blue leather vest that I made just about 3 weeks ago, and a shirt that I picked up at IML, Leather Equals Family. And, you know, you always come back from an event like that with a whole bunch of new t-shirts. And I made a point this year to not really pack any because I knew I'd be coming back with a few extras, which I did. And this is one of them. So that's it for our episode today. I am grateful that you're with us today. You can see our latest video right to my left if you're watching this on YouTube. And just below that, there's a button to subscribe. If you're listening to us on a podcast platform, please do subscribe and give us a good rating. Either way, stay tuned.